everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Zillennial, to all the new peeps in this channel. Welcome to the family, to all the returning subscribers. Welcome back to yet another episode. As you can see here today, I still have my guest.
Yay! Hi guys, my name is Felicia, or you can follow me on my YouTube, I_Amchero. Yeah, subscribe please subscribe, support me please.
As usual, I'll insert her account and her social media platforms in the description. Yeah, and let's get right into the video.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, so today we'll be talking about a rather interesting topic of grief and depression. And of course, you remember the time I told you my friends, I'll be hosting my friends to talk about these episodes and things that people are going through and they don't talk about. So yeah, so Fel is here to talk about it. And yeah, girl, I understand that you have gone through grief and lost someone who was very close to you.
Yeah, I have.
Could you kindly tell us more about that?
Okay, yeah, I lost my sister back in 2021, November 30th, the last day of November.
Wow.
Yeah, I can never forget that. So yeah.
Okay, and are you okay telling us like what the cause of death was?
Yeah, sure. Okay, as you all know, in 2020, Corona just there's an outbreak of Corona in Kenya. So there's this social distancing and all, getting vaccinated. So we all did all that. We took precautions. We took the vaccines. We used to take precautions, but I don't know. I'm really not sure. By that time we were living in a very cold place. Yeah. So back in Kericho. So she got pneumonia, and her pneumonia was really acute. And at that time, by the time she was going to hospital to get medication, it had already
it was bad.
It was bad.
It was worse, yeah.
Yeah, it was really worse. But at least she got medication, and she had already taken the vaccines for Corona. So she even took the test for Corona, but it was ruled out. So we actually knew it was not Corona, it was pneumonia. But now she was under medication. At that time I was living in Nairobi. So I asked my mom, why not let her come to stay with me?
Okay.
Yeah. So that she can, the weather in Nairobi was
more favorable.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she can recover. Yeah, like with me here in Nairobi.
Yeah.
So she came. She wasn't feeling that good at the moment, but at least she was stronger than the way she was before. So she came to Nairobi. I stayed with her for only 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my mom went back for work in Kericho. And then that night, it's really funny because, when someone is sick, their appetite is not even good.
Yeah.
They don't eat.
Yeah.
So she was not feeding well.
Yeah.
But that day she ate. And I was really happy because she finished everything in the plate.
Yeah.
And to me, it was progress. And I knew that she's getting better. So, yeah, she ate well. And I even promised her that I'll make her good porridge because,
She loved porridge.
Yeah, she loved porridge. And then when someone is sick, they don't like eating so much food. So porridge is better. Yeah, so I was like, I'll make you in the morning good porridge. She was like, it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
So I remember, that day on the 29th. No, let me take you back.
Okay.
I'm born in November 21st.
Yeah.
So that 21st, when she came at around 25th or something.
Yeah.
I decided to celebrate my birthday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So my mom surprised me with a cake, and we celebrated, the three of us.
Yeah.
It was I felt so good that they were there to celebrate with me.
Yeah.
I really felt so good.
Yeah.
So I think that was the last birthday I had with her.
Okay.
Yeah. I even have the photos of that day.
Yeah.
So we had that good mood when we were together. So I thought, things are getting better. We even had plans for the December holiday. Yeah.
Because it was during the time of the
Yeah,
holiday.
You were heading to December.
Yeah.
So that's now the previous day. Now when we were together, she told me she's feeling fine. She had even started to like finish other medication that she was given. So I was like, now she's feeling fine. She's getting better. That night she went to bed. She was okay. As I thought, she was okay. So I normally sleep late. So I went to bed too, but around midnight. And I was like, today I'm going to sleep with her.
Yeah.
I can't let her sleep alone because she's not feeling well. So we slept okay. During the night, I felt like she was breathing funny. So I woke up, I looked at her, and she was fine, according to me.
Yeah.
So I slept again. Now the second time I was woken up by a very intense breathing. She
was breathing.
Yeah, the intense one. So I woke up.
She was actually struggling.
Yeah. And then she had like put on lots of clothes and she was sweating. So I thought maybe she's getting a fever or something, you know.
Okay, yeah.
So I told her like to remove some of the clothes that she had, the sweaters, the what. So, but the breathing was still intense.
Yeah.
So the last thing that she ever told me, the last thing I always remember she told me, I'm not feeling well.
Yeah.
And nasikia joto.
Yeah.
And then me was like, okay, let me take something like water to give you or something. No, I thought it's just normal. So by the time I'm going to the kitchen to get water, I leave her there, like trying to remove her sweater.
Yeah.
She didn't. She just fell on the bed and she was breathing so hard.
Yeah.
By the time I'm coming back, I got confused because now it was around 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
It was raining heavily.
Yeah.
I was trying to like call people, contact people. People are fast asleep.
Yeah, it was in the middle of the night.
Yeah, in the middle of... Actually, it was early morning, so...
Before the wee hours of the morning.
Yeah. 3 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
And it's raining, so people are not even like picking calls. Yeah. So I decided to do first aid, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so I tried taking like a spoon to feed her water, but I realized it's choking her.
Okay.
Because of the breathing, you know, the intense breathing.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking randomly. I was just so confused. I couldn't think straight.
And then you were alone.
I was alone.
Wasn't around,
yeah. So I went and warmed up some milk.
Yeah.
I was just confused. So trying to give her, but it was not. She was not. Yeah, she was not like ingesting anything.
Yeah.
So now the breathing was much intense, more and more intense, and I panicked. I panicked because I didn't understand what's happening, and I tried to calm myself down. I was trying to even do the how is it called, the first aid for people who are fainting, you know, putting like something to elevate the leg and so that oxygen can go to the brain. That is what I was thinking. It wasn't working.
Yeah.
So what I did, I just removed her sweater because she was really sweating profusely.
Yeah.
Trying to reach people. I called my mom. My mom picked up her phone.
Yeah.
And then I told her, I think my sister is getting worse. And then she told me, get a taxi so that you can go to the hospital. And make sure you carry everything, all of her documents, because they'll ask for the history. What happened to her? Why is she... Is she sick? What was she like taking the medication?
Yeah.
So I did that. I was like trying to gather up things and all. I realized she's not getting any better. So I tried getting an Uber. Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't know this. These Uber people don't carry. I don't know if it's true. The driver that I called, several drivers that I called, they don't take sick people. That's what they told me. They can't carry sick people to hospital. So I was confused. I even decided to use Bolt. Yeah. But now you see those how are they called? I called the Bolt driver, but now according to my app, I was given an offer for that trip. Yeah. And now the offer was a bit too much. The driver could not even imagine, like, coming all the way from where he was, and it was raining.
Yeah,
And where we used to live, the roads were not that good.
Yeah.
So he couldn't, like, think that he'll come all the way and take me to hospital with that kind of the kind of offer that was given. It was
a lot.
it was, yeah. I even tried to convince him that I'll add some money. He wasn't. I think, yeah.
Sometimes I don't know how. Sometimes it be like that. Maybe he felt some type of way because he also had a sick person. And the offer, and it was in the mid. It was in the wee hours of the morning. Okay, and then eventually,
so, I tried to communicate to people. I called our caretaker.
Yeah.
The caretaker tried to, like, communicate with people, our neighbors who had cars.
Yeah.
One of the neighbors.
Yeah.
But I normally say that, well, I'm not entitled to say that he didn't want to help me. But he had an early morning to go to work. Yeah. But he wasn't, like, he didn't want to offer to take us to hospital.
Okay.
Though the hospital was just the same route that he was going, but he didn't want to. So, yeah, I don't carry him like some baby hivyo, but it's okay. I understand it's his business and his car. So the caretaker decided, because he used to drop school children in the morning.
Yeah.
He went to the person who gives him the car. He explained to him that he needs to go drop someone to hospital before he picks the kids. Mm-hmm. So he got the car, and it was raining so heavily. So you can just imagine, my sister cannot walk.
Yeah.
So we had to carry her.
Yeah.
Me and the caretaker.
Yeah.
So we carried her all the way to the car. So at that point, I think she was even rained on before we could get her in the car and all. So by the time she was reaching in the car, she was really now breathing out of control.
Yeah.
It was so intense that someone could hear her from afar. It was like she's screaming or she's being strangled or something. Yeah. So the drive to the hospital was a bit even far.
Yeah.
So I kept on talking to her, telling her it will be okay, don't worry, to go almost up, just hold on. Yeah. For me, I didn't think that anything, it will, like, go south that fast. So when we were just almost reaching to the hospital, she fell down from the car seat. Mm-hmm. I just had a boom. She fell down. Yeah. And then we thought maybe she just fainted or something. So I told the guy, the caretaker, we fungua mlango haraka, let me now pull her out for him to go inside and call the doctors or someone to come with a wheelchair or something.
It's called a stretcher.
Yeah, but the stretcher, I think, were not, like, available at that time. Okay. So they came with a wheelchair. Mm-hmm. So by the time we were getting her out with the security for the hospital, I think she had already passed. Yeah. But I didn't know. You can't even tell when someone has passed.
Yeah. At that moment, there's a lot going on.
A lot was going on. Yeah. Her eyes were open, so maybe just thought she just fainted or she was just unconscious or something. So we put her on the wheelchair. Mm-hmm. She was taken to the emergency room. Yeah. So the doctor came. The doctor just stood far from us because, that time COVID was a big deal.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And then I didn't even have a mask. Yeah. So the doctor was like, he asked the nurse to, like, check the pulse. Yeah. And then me, I was also checking her pulse. Checking her pulse because I felt like she's warm, she's just okay. Yeah. Then they were like, the doctor did this to me. And I asked him, what do you mean?
What are you saying?
Yeah, what are you saying? What do you mean? Yeah. He did this. And I couldn't believe. I decided to do the CPR myself. I felt like they were not doing enough. Yeah. I felt like they're not trying enough, hard enough. Yeah. So I decided to, like, do it myself. I was, like, doing mouth to mouth. And at that time she had I think she had gone through a lot of pain when she was losing her life. So so much blood was coming out of her mouth.
Yeah.
But I didn't care.
You're still doing the CPR.
I was doing the mouth to mouth. I didn't care how. She was my sister, you know.
Yeah.
So now when I realized she, you know, there's something that they normally say, time of death.
Yeah.
He asked the nurse time of death, and she said, I was like, no, my sister is not dead.
Yeah.
Why are you asking about time of death?
Yeah.
I thought like she, you know, I couldn't believe that she was gone. And yeah.
Okay, so forward back to you. Now you losing your sister at the hospital. Now you're already aware of the news.
Yeah.
So now you telling your mom, you breaking the news to your mom. How was it?
Well, as I told her, I was communicating with her.
Yeah.
So she was on her way to Nairobi.
Yeah.
By the time I was communicating with her, because I felt like I was all over the place. So she called me. I couldn't pick her calls.
Yeah.
She kept on calling and calling and calling because she was worried.
Yeah.
But now, when I picked, I didn't talk.
Yeah.
I was crying.
You're crying.
I was crying. And I think she already knew what had happened.
Yeah.
So we didn't even have a conversation. She just started breaking down. We broke down on phone.
Yeah.
I couldn't talk. She was asking me what has happened. I was just crying. Then she told me, no, it's not what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So I couldn't explain it to her. I was so emotional. I was crying so much.
Yeah.
And then the thing that made me, I don't know if it's, I feel it's like the medical ethics.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to like console you or something. I don't know. The doctors were just there not consoling me, but I was just crying alone in that hospital.
Yeah.
And the thing that traumatized me more, they left me there for like 1 hour with her.
Damn.
Just crying. No one came and comforted me because I was alone. The caretaker had to go to pick the kids.
To work, yeah.
Yeah, so that he can come back later.
Yeah.
So I was just left there with my sister, my lifeless sister's body there. I watched her change. There's this change that happens when someone dies.
Yeah.
I was there to watch everything for that 1 hour. No one gave me even a sheet to
cover
her or something. I think that traumatized me more. Not even the death. The fact that I watched the whole process of her just being there, changing, and it was traumatizing because she was even in pain. So you can even imagine she's bleeding and she's not even, you can just imagine how she...
And you are alone on top of that.
So my mom had to call a friend of hers who lived nearer to us to come to the hospital and at least try and comfort me because I had no one.
Yeah.
My relatives lived far from us.
Yeah.
My mom was far from me.
Yeah, because your mom was all the way in Kericho.
Like 6 hours away from me.
Damn.
So before she arrives...
Yeah. But she immediately, like, she knew she just started, like, her journey immediately.
I can't even tell how she felt then because I couldn't even believe how she felt because she was alone.
She was also alone, traveling. Yeah, she has to come.
And already she knows that she has lost her daughter. So I didn't know what to do. What I did is I just stayed there with her. I was crying.
Yeah.
So my mom's friend came to the hospital. She was shocked that I was still there.
Yeah.
She didn't understand why I was still in that room with her. So she took me out. She told me to stay outside the room, sort of, out of control. So like she tried to, or she tried to console me and comfort me. And I couldn't understand why were they comforting me, because I knew my sister was still alive.
Yeah.
So she went in and covered her with her own shuka. She had like a scarf or something. She covered her, and then she told me to wait with her outside.
Yeah.
Then my mom now was communicating with her.
Yeah.
Then organizing all that. The hospital was not that big, so they had to transfer my sis to a funeral home.
Yeah.
I think that was the hardest drive I've ever had.
Yeah.
The first thing is I didn't expect, to see those people coming with a body bag.
Yeah.
It was a bit hard for me to see my sis being put in a body bag and being taken with a hearse. And then now we were behind her. That was the hardest drive I've ever had. I've never been to a morgue before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was my first time. And I didn't believe that the first time we'll hit home, like directly home. I've never even seen someone who's dead.
Yeah.
This was the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how to to react at that point. I was just crying. I cried until I couldn't cry no more. I cried because, not even because. I cried until I couldn't, because I had headaches. My tears ran dry. Now I was just hurting inside.
Yeah, just hurting.
I was just gazing at people. I couldn't even reason at the moment.
Yeah.
So my mom arrived. But I thank God, because where we took her, the funeral home that we took her, did a very good job.
Yeah.
They tried to make her decent, She was a bit traumatized. She had trauma in her death.
Yeah.
But they tried to make her decent. So my mom...
By the time she was coming.
Yeah, by the time my mom was coming, she didn't receive that intense, the intense, all that, Nini. So, now reality hit when we went back home. Because now, before relatives arrived, we were just the two of us. It was, I don't know, for some reason, people always fear the dead. Even though they were close to you, you always have that fear. Mm-hmm. We didn't sleep that night. I don't know why we didn't sleep, but we were...
It happens. I feel like it happens. I think it's because of the death, the shock.
Mm-hmm.
It happens. It happens to the best of us. Yeah, the sleeping bit.
So we didn't sleep. We were even scared to stay in that house. I don't know why. I really don't understand. And she was my sister. I don't know why I was scared.
I think it happens.
Yeah.
Even aside from even her being your sister, even for me, there was one time. So just point of a story.
Okay.
Like we went somewhere and a friend of ours had lost the dad. Like we were even afraid to get into the house to go to the toilet.
I don't know.
To go to the toilet,
like
and there were people in the house.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think it's
so.
It
was also more traumatizing because we slept together that night. So I couldn't even sleep in that bed. All I could see is, I couldn't even feel her smell on the beddings and all, even the clothes she had.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So when my relatives came, things were organized and all.
Yeah.
And then I think a friend of my mom's did one mistake.
Yeah.
And I feel like she didn't know. It was an honest mistake.
Yeah, yeah.
She contacted a psychologist, a counselor, and she paid for her to speak to me at that moment, of which I felt like it was the wrong moment. I couldn't talk.
Mm-hmm.
The psychologist was just pushing me and I couldn't talk. I couldn't even open up. I didn't know what I felt. I didn't know what was going on at that moment. So I feel like she didn't know that. But at that moment, I didn't need a psychologist or a counselor or anyone. I just wanted to grieve. I just wanted to cry.
Yeah.
And just be in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had the chance to cry. I cried a lot until now. We prepared her a burial. Yeah. And I thank God because I had friends like you came and, support me and be with me and, give me a shoulder to lean on.
Though your cousin did make really nice food that time.
Yeah. Yeah, my cousin made food for the guests. So
she made really nice pilau. It was amazing. Anyways.
Yeah. So at that time I didn't know what I was going through. I've never grieved, so I didn't know. I had mixed reaction. At some point I would laugh with people, but it will hit me that something is amiss.
Yeah.
So after the burial, we went for the burial, and I don't know, I was just not myself at that point. After the burial is when it hits you hard.
I was about to ask you. Now, after the burial, now it's between you and your mom. Now you've already done the whole process.
Yeah.
You've buried your sister. Now it's you and your mom. Now, what happened after that? Now you guys, the two of you, now dealing with it, and for you personally. Yeah.
So after that, the burial and all, people have to go to their usual normal routines, life routines.
Yeah.
So that's when it hits you. You're back at home, the two of you. The people who are coming to console you are no longer there.
Yeah.
So you have to deal with the situation. Like now you have to accept, of which it's not that easy. You have to fill the void, the absence of someone in the house. Maybe, she used to have a favorite seat.
Okay.
So all of us had our favorite seat. So you have to it hits you that there's someone who's not.
And she's no longer seated.
She's no longer there. The absence is so loud.
Damn.
Yeah, we used to break down with my mom all the time. Yeah. She used to have a special, plate cup that she uses. So we didn't used to use it because we were scared, it's hers. We don't want to, And then her clothes, we had to give out her clothes because we couldn't have them in the house. Yeah, so that moment after is when now it hits you hard and you realize that there's someone missing in this family. And you have to accept it. Yeah.
And you have to try to move on.
Move on. And it's not easy.
But then someone said that grieving never ends. Is it true?
Yeah. Grieving never ends. Even right now, as I'm talking, it's like it's still fresh to me because I don't think I can get over that feeling of losing a sister.
Yeah, and someone who's close to you.
Someone who's close to me and the only sibling that I ever had.
Yeah.
So adjusting to being alone was so hard for me. And all the time that I used to be anywhere, I used to just break down because, it just comes. You start having those memories and you can't control them. So you just cry. You let it out. It doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you see someone having something with their sisters or their siblings, and it hits you that yours is not there, and you'll never see them.
Yeah.
And they'll never be alive again.
Yeah, you'll never get to spend time with them again. Okay.
So it was so hard for me to even, and some people don't even understand grieving, by the way.
Yeah.
They'll be like, why do you keep on crying? You have to accept it.
Yeah.
Or someone tells you, you be strong.
Be strong.
These things
strong,
do happen.
Yeah.
So, they don't understand, but it's really hard. It's really hard to cope with it. But we try daily to,
Do you and your mom ever talk about your sister, or do you ever talk about that moment? Or if maybe you guys are still grieving, do you still talk about it?
To be sincere with you, we've never talked about the moment.
Yeah.
She has never asked me what happened that day. After I explained on that day, she has never asked me again.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard for us to even say my sister's name.
Yeah.
Okay, at first my mom used to say, she used to refer to us the late. I used to feel so bad when she says that. So anytime we talk about her, I used to call her by her name. My sister used to be called Sylvia.
Yeah, like my sister.
Like your sister. So me, I used to call her by her name. I used to, if I say something random, I say Sylvia. Now my mom used to call her the late, and I didn't used to like that.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I didn't accept that she's late. I used to think she's just somewhere away from me. I'll come and see her one day, but I didn't used to like that word. So yeah, fast forward, life had to move on.
Yeah.
My mom had to go back to work in Kericho.
Yeah.
So I was left alone in Nairobi. That's where depression kicked in. Being alone. That's when now the traumas started
Flashbacks.
and attacking me all the time.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep at night. My routine changed. So during the night I used to be active. I used to sleep in the morning when I can hear people walking, people doing things, activities, people just talking.
Yeah.
That's when I used to get sleep. At night I used to get nightmares.
Yeah.
Or I just get attacks. I just break down.
Yeah.
So my routine changed. I started getting insomnia.
Yeah.
And I was depressed. I couldn't get out of the house. I used to get out of the house at night. If I have to buy something, maybe I go briefly to the shop at night and go back home. I couldn't get out during the day. I used to feel like I don't belong in this world. I've lost someone great in my life. I withdrew myself from people,
because I remember there's a time I actually used to even go offline for months, for 2 months.
So I didn't feel like I can engage with people, even talk to them, have conversations with them. Because all the time, people talk to me, all I can just remember is my sister. So I start breaking down, and then people judge me for that.
Yeah.
You feel like people are like, oh, it happened like a while ago. Why are you still crying? Why are you still
crying?
Yeah, so I withdrew myself. I was not even. You remember you used to like call me out to go hang out with you
for the sherehes. Yeah.
Imagine. So
and then she used to let
I'm
me
like,
down.
no.
Yeah. She's be like, I know.
I can't. Yeah, so it happened for a while, for months. So my mom used to come to Nairobi twice a month.
Yeah.
When she's around, I was so happy. I was so excited. I felt like I had someone. Now when she goes back, that's when it hits me that I'm going to be left alone.
Yeah.
And then I had traumas, like when she used to travel back and forth. I used to feel uneasy, uncomfortable. I had those fears of the unknown.
Like what if something happens to her? Yeah.
Or rather, if she doesn't pick up my calls, I get anxiety attacks. I'm like, why is she not picking up my calls? Where is she?
Yeah.
So I used to struggle with that. Then depression made me feel so bad, and at some point I even wanted to commit suicide.
Yeah.
I didn't see the point of me being alive.
Damn.
Yeah. So I tried it so many times. Yeah.
You tried?
Yeah, I tried it so many times.
You never told me you tried.
I never told anyone that I did.
Yeah.
I even bought the rat poison. Yeah. I even, I corrugated it.
Yeah.
I was ready to take it and just die. I didn't see the point of, living. But the moment I'm trying to take it, I remember that I also have a mom.
You have a mom. Yes.
So how will she feel if she loses another daughter?
So you just, no, it's not. Yeah.
So I've tried so many times, even jumping from buildings, and then I'm like, no, I can't. Why should I let her go through the same pain again?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the time that I needed that counselor the most. You see, she came on the wrong time, so I needed her at that time. I wanted someone to talk to, someone to just tell how I felt, someone who could
Can we say someone who could guide you through the process?
Yeah.
Guide you through the
process of healing and acceptance and all. So I cried and I begged for someone to come and talk to me, because that time I was not financially stable, so I couldn't hire a psychologist and all.
Or a therapist, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I was hurting inside, and then the people that I was talking to, they couldn't understand me the way, you know, people normally say, these things will just pass. It'll just be okay.
And then the worst part is, especially for people, let me say for myself, I haven't been through what you have been through. So I couldn't relate with what you had been through.
Yeah.
So even if you'd have talked to me, I could have just been like, everything will be okay. You don't worry, you'll be fine. You just cry it out. You know, because I couldn't relate with your point of view. I couldn't relate.
Yeah.
Okay, so then now you've grieved, you're still grieving, and you accepted. Okay, so now from that point, now you realize now you're depressed, you needed help. So now accepting.
Acceptance.
Yeah.
So I had to accept, and I thank God because God helped me in this process.
Yeah.
I did it. I had to accept, and I tried so much to get out of that depression. At some point, I even tried to take myself to places so that I can not just stay in the house.
Yeah, that's when now the solo dates started coming in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I embraced solo dates,
Yeah.
and I used to take myself to,
Movies,
movies,
yeah,
lunch dates.
dinner.
Yeah, I remember you used to ask me so much. I used to like hanging out in Two Rivers. There's a time you asked me, why do you like going to Two Rivers?
Yeah,
Because it was nearer to the place that we live. So I used to go there and see people, and I feel like, I'm calm.
Yeah.
I feel like relaxed.
Yeah.
So that's when I started embracing the self-love and acceptance and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can't say that I've fully healed because there are times that I break down too.
Yeah.
And sometimes I also get dreams. I don't know. I dream about my sister all the time.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I don't get scared of the dreams. Yeah, I accept it and I'm like, yeah, she's still my sister, But
Would you say you have healed?
no, not completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have those moments that I break down and I feel like I have to give up, but I remember that I'm still alive and I have a purpose in this world. And I know she's also, if she could be alive, she could really want me to live my purpose. So I always want to make her proud.
Yeah.
And just continue with the same, the same spirit and energy. And also, I'm happy being around my mom. Yeah. Wow. So since we're only the two of us right now, so
now you want to make your mom proud.
Yeah, I want to make her proud.
I just want to live the life.
To live as long as
as long as
she becomes proud of you.
So yeah, guys, that's it for today. So thank you so much, Fel, for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And giving me a platform to share about this. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, so that's it, guys, for the video. I hope you guys got inspired, or if you can relate with whatever that she has shared, you can feel free to comment down. And of course, kama kawaida, I will be sharing her platform so that you guys can see her vlogs. She has like I said, she has very interesting content. Yeah, like me, I don't have very interesting content on my TikTok. Yeah, so go and subscribe to her channel and follow her on TikTok, okay?
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. So yeah, guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I love you all. I will see you on my next video. Bye.
Then my bloopers.
When I was